For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels postgame show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the HITI postgame show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield post-game show. I am your host, Todd Fox, on a wonderful Wednesday. Yes, from Big A to my home now. I'm a few minutes late. I went to work. I don't live in my mom's basement, so I'm able to do the show when I can, just like every last one of you. I'm a blue-collar man. That's how we do it here. I couldn't make the stadium today, so I will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but as a season ticket holder and, a fan in the stands talking Angels baseball with you and anyone that comes to 260 sitting up with us there at the top railing of 260, come by and say hi, and we'll have some Angels talk for sure, as we always do with you guys, as we are all fans in this, and we love you guys as we start this Wednesday out on a sweep, because we're by the fans, for the fans, by the fans. We do everything for you. You do everything for us, because that's what we love doing. We love focusing on our Angels, especially when they're winning, and they won their third straight game here today. And what a great time to get the W. Again, they weren't able to get the sweep over there in Boston, but they take care of business today, and it's good to see Kikuchi get a W. Those have been few and far between. He had to pitch 7 innings to do it in the hot sun, and he also had to get some run support, which he actually did after the team kind of screwed him over with an early error, which led to 2 runs that were unearned. So, yeah, Kikuchi, in a sense, pitched like an ace today. Again, is he a number 1? No. I've never said that. Don't think he is. I think he's a good number 3, possible slight number 2, but it's clear and present danger we need an ace. We need an ace. It's clear as day that we need an ace on this staff, but Kikuchi and others will have to do for now. Between him and Soriano, they're fighting to be that number 2 guy in a rotation of 3s and maybe some 4s. So with that being said, though, it's all sunshine and roses today from the Big A as the Angels win 5-2, as we'll go over everything that happened today. You have this this aura about them since Ray Montgomery took over. And again, I'm not trying to, get on Ron Washington at all. I know we've been upset with how he's managed at times. I've been critical about how things have been. The analytics do play, a role still with the Angels today, because they weren't going to use any of their guys like, what's his name? Jansen today. They weren't going to use Detmers and maybe a couple other pitchers because they've pitched 3 out of the last 4 days. So even though we have a day off tomorrow, they were still being very, very stingy with the players that we had out there. And obviously, first off, got to hit it out of the ballpark, which is the Neto situation. The Neto situation has finally been released today. It's just, there's no damage on the MRI. He's just really sore. It seems to be a deep contusion, which is maybe like a broken blood vessel at worst. And you just got some extra fluid in your shoulder, or maybe his shoulder kind of popped and it left a bruise. It's bruising on the what do you call it, on the skin tissue and the muscle tissue. Again, I've had a couple of those before. They are pretty painful. It does limit your throw. That's why he had, because I remember one time as an outfielder in the minors, I ran into the wall, and that's why I started to use my glove hand to feel for the wall when I was on the warning track, because one time I tried to jump and make a catch over the wall with my right shoulder facing the wall, and I freaking jammed it really, really hard. And it was one of those things where they didn't do an MRI or nothing. There was no damage or nothing, but it was very painful. And it was hard to get the movement in my arm. I could not have the same release. I felt it all the way down to my elbow. And it was just very painful. So the way he threw last night, you could tell there was some sort of a discomfort big time. And so seeing it live, I couldn't really tell from the outfield, but on TV, you could see the discomfort. And it's really a blessing that he wasn't hurt, because again, he should be back for the Nationals. And if you get him sitting in that lineup again with Moore, who's continually to get better. And again, this is what we try to talk about. Some fans can give guys some grace and let them go a month or two with not really doing much damage. And then there's some players or some fans that just can't give guys, they want to see them just bust out right away. And you got it when it's a kid like this. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to make some errors. He's going to make some dumb decisions in the box, but he's going to learn from that. And this guy, again, like I said before spring training, Christian Moore is going to make the team at some point this year. It's just that this dude is going to be a dog like Zach Neto. He's going to be Zach Neto 2.0, or he's going to be Christian Moore 1.0. He's going to be himself, but he's going to have some of that mentality in him where he's just like, he's got the charisma. He's got everything. The five tools are going to start to come around. So I really like what Christian Moore is going to bring. And again, it's a blessing that Neto's not hurt, because now we get to see those two play together. And with the rest of this lineup, when we at some point get Mancada back, which is going to help. Soler, I know a lot of people are out on Soler, but Soler, when healthy and when he's in a groove, can put up some numbers and can put up some RBIs and home runs really fast. So again, we'll see what happens as the season progresses. We always say on this channel, take it one game at a time, go 1-0 for today, focus in on the next series. Don't look too far ahead, and win 2 out of 3 if you can. If you can get the sweep, by all means. Like, that's what's frustrated me as a fan, is we've blown 3 opportunities to step on the opponent's neck and get a sweep. We put out mediocre lineups in those finales, and we've also put out mediocre bullpen pieces when we could go with our horses. So it worked today because Kikuchi worked today. Kikuchi gave it his all today. And again, his last 2 or 3 starts have been fantastic. So what that means is this: when we win, we play some Stukas, baby. Well, let's go over how it went down today at Anaheim Stadium, and didn't go the way you would think with Zeferjahn getting the save. There was a ton of strikeouts in this game today, and again, the Angels will now improve when scoring 4 runs or more in a game. They will now improve to 32 wins and 11 losses. That's, again, a 21 game over 500 when they score 4 runs or more. So just you do the math right here. They are now 40 and 40. We're at 500 now. That means they only have 8 wins when scoring 3 runs or less. So that, again, they are 8-29 when they score 3 runs or less. So that just goes to show you that with the pitching staff that they currently have, you must score 4 to 5 runs at least, and to put yourself in a good position. And I will take that every day, because the pitching staff has shown us that they could surprise us. The pitching staff and the bullpen have come together, and some guys have started to have better roles. And again, Ray Montgomery is having this team do a double steal. They're more aggressive on the base pads. They're shortening up their swings. They're playing a little bit more small ball. Again, I don't want to shit on Ron Washington, but there looks to be a different vibe with Ray Montgomery at the helm. Will he be the manager moving on? It's way too early to think about that. And what are we going to trade? It's way too early to think about that too. There's still a lot of teams that could fall out of it right now or get back in it right now. So you only have a few teams right now that you could look at and say, okay, maybe we can poach from this team or we could poach from that team. But other than that, we really have to wait through mid-July to see exactly what the Angels are going to do, because again, they're right in the thick of things wild card wise, but the division currently doesn't look that good. But you never know; things can flip really quick if the Angels continue to win. And we'll see who Houston plays next, which I believe they have the Phillies right now. So they did beat the Phillies 1-0 yesterday. We'll see what they do in the rest of that series with Philadelphia. Maybe Philadelphia can help us out a little bit while we're playing Washington. We'll see. But let's tell you how things went today as the Angels get back to 500. What the hell? I love it right there. Jeff over there on TikTok saying, what was just at the game? Angels are rolling. He loves it. Vasquez says, I think regardless, sell. Again, you could get some pieces. You have to get rid of some of those expiring contracts. Hippie says, we back to 500, baby. So real quick, let's tell you what happened. Fitz got the start today. He only went 4 innings for the Red Sox. We told you about Kikuchi, 7 innings right there, 2 runs, but none of them earned. He fell 1 strikeout short of a career high. His career high was 13, actually, so he was going to tie his career high. He had 12. He threw 75 strikes out of 105 pitches. That's really, really good. And then he only had the 1 walk. Zeferjahn did really good. I thought one of his best performances out of the bullpen all year. He came out there with 2 innings, no hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He looked pretty dominating today. The Red Sox bullpen's a mess, so I love seeing that. I have no love for the Red Sox whatsoever, nor do I care about their problems. The Angels left 9 guys on base today. They went 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. You'll take that because usually if you can at least get 3 hits in those situations, 10 or more attempts, you tend to win games. Again, the only thing I zero in again on is I don't like the strikeouts. 12 more strikeouts today. So didn't look good on the strikeout side. Only 2 guys in the lineup didn't strike out, and that was Shonawell and d'Arnaud. You had 3 strikeouts from Christian Moore, the hat trick. You had 1 from Trout, 2 from Ward, 2 from Adell, 1 from Wade, 2 from Renifo, and 1 for Kingery. The plus side, since Montgomery has taken over, I've noticed that they have walked and gotten at least 2 walks in every game that he has managed, including that 11 walk performance the other day. They had 4 more walks or 5 more walks last night, 4 more today. It's 4 yesterday, 4 today. This was a team that was averaging less than 1 walk per game. So the fact that they've upped their game, getting extra base runners is a huge plus. So we want to continue to have that kind of mentality, even if you have a couple at bats where you get a couple guys looking. I can see getting away with that, but you got to. There's some that have been meatballs where these guys got to protect the plate. So I would emphasize being patient if I'm Montgomery and the rest of this crew, but I would also say zero in if it's down the middle, choke up and try to at least make contact and get a hit if you're not going to power swing. So with that being said, the scoring plays were this. In the first inning, again, the Red Sox get off to an early lead because of an error by Kingery, allowing 2 men to get on base. Trevor Story would make Kikuchi pay with a single to score those 2 runs to make it 2-0. But Adell would come back in the 4th inning to hit a solo blast to make it 2-1. Then Travis d'Arnaud right behind him would tie the game up at 2 with a solo blast. And then in the 5th inning, it was kind of funny because, again, whatever you do, I can do better, that type of deal, because that's what happened with the home run in d'Arnaud. Not that they have any kind of animosity or nothing, but it's that corny Disney song. But in the 5th inning, the 2 came up and did the same thing again. So Adell singled in more, and Trout would go to second, and then d'Arnaud's like, well, I could do it better too. And d'Arnaud singled to left. Trout would score, and Adell would go to third, and that was it right there. They got the 2 runs to make it 4-2, and they did this thing called an add-on run, which the Angels have been getting better as the season progressed, as usually the Angels would get a couple runs, maybe cluster a couple runs, not add on, not help the bullpen, not help the starting pitcher, and it turned into a butt clincher towards the end of the game. Not so in this game. They get that run late again, and then the bullpen plus Kikuchi just takes over. I mean, again, the Red Sox have been reeling, but you talk about a team that had come out of nowhere right before the Devers trade and a little bit after the Devers trade. They had gotten on a roll. They swept the Yankees. They were getting right back into the playoff situation, not only in the wild card, but in the division. They were like 5 or 4 games back of the Stankies all of a sudden. So this team was rolling right before we got to play them. But Hey, give it to the Angels, man. They played 3 hard-nosed games with these guys, improved to 19-18 at home. They are now 40-40 overall. The Red Sox fall to 40-42, 18-25 away from Fenway. So good crowd for a day game on a Wednesday, 28,000 supposedly, but I think it was more like 24, 25. But hey, they were pretty loud today, and I give it to them. I was listening to the game, enjoying myself. A 5-2 game. Next time they have a businessman special like this, dude, I'm taking the day off. I'm going to go to the Big A and just chill and have a good time with you guys there. So I was jealous for all that went. If you went, type it in the comments. We would love to hear from you. And again, before we do, hit up 714 Tickets if you're looking for tickets, because you could put in our code HITI and get 10% off of any kind of purchase you make. And again, you could buy any kind of sporting team. It doesn't have to be the Angels. And the price you see is the price you get. So if you say, hey, man, those are good tickets for $40, well, guess what? They're $40 and whatever you decide to take off with the 10% if you use our code, because, again, no taxes, no service fees, and it's awesome right there, 714 Tickets. Also, Tyler says, congrats, you swept a terrible Red Sox team. That sounds like somebody is a little upset about that one. I don't think it makes sense to buy unless you're contending for the division. Marcus, I totally agree with you right there. But if you're in a good position in the wild card, you can add a couple people. Just don't go balls out like you did a few years ago and just waste the farm. Vasquez says, this isn't a playoff team, but I think giving up Ward, Renifo, and Anderson would have no effect. I think so, because if you're able to let those 3 guys go, you have Soler that can fill out that spot. You have other outfielders like Kyron Paris to fill out the other spot if you lose, so there's different ways you can go about doing it. And Renifo's made himself expendable with the way that Christian Moore is playing. So we'll see what happens. And again, you're going to have to get rid of some of those expiring contracts. You can get back a couple other players. So there we go right there. Also, you have, Joe Adell. Joe Adell's doing a really, really good job with the team this year. It's funny because hats off to Fernando and the rest of the guys. I think it was Fernando and Vince. They were both saying that they predicted that Joe Adell would lead the Angels in home runs in June. And guess who's leading the Angels in home runs in June? Joe Adell. So good call by our teammates here on Halos in the Infield on the podcast. Benji says 85 and 77. We can only hope. I was hoping for 81 and 81, but hey, that's all you would need to make the All-Star game, or an All-Star game, the wild card game. And last year, Detroit had good pitching. Ice says the Angels won't turn the franchise around till Artie sells the team. Do we all know that? But we're trying to ignore that. We're trying to just be happy for once, because we're always negative Nancy on here. And as far as whenever you name that Artie Farty guy, it always puts a damper on whatever good we got going on. But so we're going to do things a little bit different today on the show, which means we're going to get into the awards and stuff. But I'm going to bring on my friend here. I'm going to email him to get him on for the show. He's going to be coming in all the way from Tennessee. So he just got a new podcast for the Tennessee Titans, for any Tennessee Titan fans out there. Bring in my friend Jackson. He's a huge Angel fan. I sent him the link. So anytime he jumps on right now, we'll have him on to commentate with me for today. Do a little different things here. Ice says, I wasn't trying to kill the vibes. New here and a Dodger fan. Oh, you're good, Ice. I have no issues with anybody. So we're just joking around, man. It's just that with Angel fans, we do get we hate the LA moniker for us. We really would love if it was Anaheim, if it was California. When they do our secondary jerseys, secondary what is it called? City Connect next year. We're hoping for an Orange County patch, something right that represents Orange County. We don't agree with the Los Angeles stuff, so we don't mind respectful Dodger fans, but we do have the Dodger fans that are jerks, and I'm sure you guys think that some Angel fans are too. So there is that no love lost thing there, but I do respect those that respect us, so I give it right back. So I'm glad you're on here, Ice. I hope you like the show. Benji says, I don't care what anyone says. We have a chance. Minimum need one more starting pitcher. Another starting pitcher would do wonders for this team, Benji. Also, it would give us more confidence. Let's get into an Anaheim Angels just has a better ring to it. I do agree, man. I miss the Anaheim Angels. Now let's get into the awards real quick before we get my boy on. I'm just waiting for him to get on. Who got the Golden Stamos, the best performance of the day? And if you watch the game, I don't even have to say his name, but we'll say it anyway. And I have to say, too, I agree with Vasquez. A decent pitcher is Kwanowitz, but he's a long reliever right now. I think Kane and Dana is as well. I think Aldegari is as well. I don't think they fit the starting rotation yet because they don't have that out pitch, and they're not pinpointing their fastballs yet. I think those guys are about a year away from being decent contenders in this rotation. I think Kwanowitz, we're getting the very best out of him right now, but he needs to be more consistent with that sinker. So, yes, if you're able to replace one of those three rooks or young kids with a proven starter, absolutely. Player of the game. I mean, no way to cut it. You got to go Kikuchi. Kikuchi, again, I read his stats off. No earned runs today. The 2 unearned runs off the air. 3 hits allowed in 7 innings. He shut down 14 in a row, or I think it was 12 or 13 in a row before they took him out. And 12 strikeouts. He was dominant today. 105 pitches thrown, 75 for strikes. He lowers his ERA to 2.79. He is easily your player of the game. Now, let's get into the Nacho Night real quick.
For the worst performance of the night, congratulations. You played yourself.
Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
The Nacho Night goes to Ref Schneider, the leadoff guy and designated hitter for your Boston Red Sox. 3 strikeouts. He got the hat trick in 3 at-bats. Again, this is a guy who makes a lot of contact and was a pain in the ass. And even though we won those 2 out of 3 in Boston, he was a guy that was constantly on base along with Duran. And they were killing us in Boston. They were getting all their big hits and scoring all their runs. And they were constantly on the bases. This series, thankfully, Duran was a nobody, and so was Ref Schneider. They were not factors whatsoever. And I like the fact that the Angels focused in on them and took them out of the game and out of the series. I really, really like that. So that's a sign that this team is realizing, hey, we need to do our homework and watch video and learn from our previous series and try to better ourselves. So I like what they did right there. Big time win. Jack needs to lock in. Tua right there also should implement reliever days like how the Dodgers do. We don't have the type of relievers the Dodgers do. That's my only thing with that. Needing 4 and 5 starters to win a World Series is the past 2 and 3 with a great bullpen is the move. I do like that right there. Let's get Jackson Weber into the stage. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, good to see you. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good to hear from you too, man. I know it's been a little bit of hit and miss, man, but thanks for waiting around for the awards and everything. How'd you like the sweep, man?
I really like it. Like you said before, I really felt like this team has been playing really better baseball. I really felt like the offense has been really, really better lately. I think runners and scoring position has been really better, like you said. Now, there's one thing I was going to comment about last night's game. Did you see the bunt last night? I think that was that Kingery who bunted last night? I was going to compliment on that. I really, really liked that. I forgot top of my head. But I think the Angels coaches have been really working together and just really playing smart baseball. You know, what I want to see, Todd, is now we won the series. Let's win next series, right? Let's not go back and let's not lose 2 out of 3. Let's go into Washington. Let's get Washington. You know, let's get ready to play James Woods, C.J. Abrams. Let's go ready and let's attack these guys, man. I really think the Angels can take 2 out of 3 this weekend and get over 500.
Yeah, see, that would be a great move going into the road trip if they're able to get the 2 out of 3, like you said, because, again, we've given some games away, like the Miami series, the 2 Baltimore series, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. I circled those 4 series because, most of those games were winnable and should have been won, and those are the type that you look back later in the year. If you're losing the, in the wild card, or if you're losing in the division, you're like, damn, I wish I had those back. So I'm hoping that, like you said, they different attitude, better chemistry, better mentality moving into this series. I'm hoping the Angels can, like you said, take advantage and take this series. Even if it's just 2 out of 3, give me 2 out of 3 against the Nationals.
Yeah, I also do want to give a comment to the bullpen. I really feel like the bullpen's been playing better down the stretch. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but I think guys like Strickland's been, pitching great. Detmer, shout out to Reed. He's really found his stuff in the back of the bullpen. So we just need those guys to hang in a little longer. And, we'll get Stevenson back heading in hopefully the next month or two. Don't know what's up with him. So we'll get him back. And I think our bullpen's in strength. And, besides Kolowitz, I think the starters have been really keeping us in games. That's something I want to talk about as well. They've been limiting the damage. So
yeah, if you can continue to get the good pitching like this, again, like you said, Kwanowitz is the only one that's misfiring with a sinker and the fastball. He's very hittable at times, which is a detriment to the defense. But other than that, like you said, you've had Hendricks have a couple, bad starts, but he gets you at least 5. And then the bullpen, like you said, has been nails. There's still a couple guys who haven't come up yet. And I think Stevenson has got that whole phantom pain. And I think he's very scared. I think he's skittish to go out there because nothing I saw, if there's no damage, no scar tissue, he should go out there. I think right now it's more mental than anything with him. So hopefully he can come back. And then you never know where we can add a Quijada, which I think Quijada, I don't know if you feel the same way I do, but I think Quijada is better than Brock. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think Quijada is better in the bullpen.
Yeah, because I would love to, if they can't use Detmers and they're using Detmers as like a setup, and you're having Brock Burke having to come in a 6th inning or in a tie game, or maybe they're down trying to keep it close. I'd rather see Quijada in that spot than a Brock.
Someone that I was going to mention who's been really, really well in Rocket City, Alabama, who I saw a month ago. Forgot his name at the top of my head. I'll find it in a minute, but maybe we might take a shot at a couple of those guys. It's a lefty in the bullpen. I'm trying to find his name. He's a lefty. Southern's been pretty good. Jared Southern for Rocket City has been pretty dominant so far. And then I'll figure out his name. But anyway, yeah, I think we definitely need to think about that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be, I think what people are kind of frustrated with is the fact that, we're having opportunities to, to think about maybe adding some players before the deadline. And I think that can be a move later to think about, but you have to get closer to those games in the threshold and where the trade deadline is first to know what we're going to do. You don't want to splurge early. But like I was trying to explain the other night, you could take on an expiring contract. You could flip a player or two. Like, say, for instance, Boston likes somebody we have, but we know that Baltimore wants that kind of the player that we're going to get back from Boston. And you could just flip them to Baltimore to get the players you need for the future to keep control, or get a player that's going to help you out. Because I think at this point, I don't think the Angels can afford a star or trade for a star unless you're getting someone like Arenado, and the Cardinals got back into it, so he's probably going to stay where he's at. So I think at this point you may be able to scratch across a starter, but at what cost? And I think the best you can do probably is depth, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, again, let's not blow up the farm system. We traded 2 of the top 5 guys, for Lucas Giolito for a month. Let's not do that again. I think that's when you're heading down the season, when you're heading later these months, depth's very important to this baseball team right now. And I think if you add maybe a depth infielder, I think if you add a depth piece in the rotation, maybe Mitch Keller, you flip him for Taylor Ward. That can definitely be an option in your back of rotation. I was going to say Sammy Natra for Rocket City, Alabama. He's been pitching pretty well recently. So, that's a guy who you can look up maybe later in the season you might want to call up. But, yeah, I can see a depth piece go on, but I wouldn't overpay like you said earlier.
Yeah, I think that this team's still got to figure out what it's going to do next season. And then, because obviously no matter what, even if they cut Rendon, you're still going to be on the hook for paying him out. So that's going to count against what you got going on next year. But, they're going to have a little bit more money, even with a Rendon contract back on next year. So I think they'll be a little bit more aggressive in the, in the free agency next year. I think what the Angel fans don't realize too is I don't think they were expecting the Angels to contend and run down the West like Ron said 2 years ago. I think they're just going to see if they can get as close as they can to 500 or above it. And I think they would take that as a win. I would. Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, if you could sniff the playoffs in September, be around at least within striking distance, and the season ends when you're like 3 or 4 games short of a wild card spot, that's a win.
Yeah,
that's an absolute win.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I just think, heading into these months, you want to play competitive baseball. I think that's a lot of fans we've been missing for so many years. You're heading back to many seasons, we would get blown out by 13 runs in the middle of the June, and we're like, dude, this feels like September.
Correct.
So I'm just glad the Halos right now are just competing. Rally Chris says Sandy Alejandro from Miami. I don't see that. And I'll tell you why. He has the upside to be a good pitcher, but I think Miami's going to ask for a lot. And I'm not, again, willing to give up that much, even for Sandy Alejandro's contract. So I'm not ready for the Halos to do that. So I think if you look at it this year in the draft hopefully will be well this year. Ethan Holiday, I've heard a left-hander. I think LSU. Is it LSU?
Yeah, it's LSU.
My pick. So yeah. I think if we keep building these next couple of years, I mean, obviously we have Shitty already as our owner, right? But still for a little bit longer. Of course, the Titans have a shitty owner too. But, there could be faith in these teams in the next couple of years for the Cade Anderson. Thank you. I've heard he's been a stud. So
when is the draft again? I forgot the exact date, but I should know it because we're doing a show on that day.
It's right before the All-Star break. I'm pretty sure. I'm looking it up. I think it's right before the All-Star break. It is. Yeah.
On TikTok, they're like, we should. Vasquez is saying we should draft a true third baseman because I don't think we've done that since freaking the last. Well, I don't think we've done that since.
Man, who was that? God, it was probably Gloss. Yeah,
No, we did not. We did McPherson and Brandon Wood.
And Fontenelle, but he hasn't came up either. It's Sunday, July 13th. That's when the draft is. It's in Atlanta, so
okay.
I might head out for that. We'll see. So,
dude, if you could do some corresponding for us, I would greatly appreciate it, my friend.
I'll let you know. I mean, it's still TBD in the works. I mean, I'm about 4.5 hours drive from Atlanta.
That's not bad.
First baseman though. What do you mean first baseman though?
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I'm excited right now. I'm excited for this team right now. Obviously, you guys. I mean, I've seen a lot of comments on Instagram and Twitter. Let's just be grateful we're over 500, right? I mean, let's just be grateful we're over 500 right now. Let's keep fighting as a team, and we'll see what happens when Juan gets back. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think right now. Well, if Ron does come back, I'm leaning toward he's not, dude. I think we saw him coach the last game for the Angels. I don't see it, man. I think the heart issue is not something to be messed with. I think he wants to stick around for his grandkids, and rightfully so. He's got to get out of the stadium, man.
Yeah, I agree. Well, he's probably smoking too much too. Or he's probably smoking on that pack too much.
Well, I don't know if he still smokes, but I know the effects of long-term drug use, and cocaine accelerates your heart way too much. So, I think that's either enlarged his heart. I'm not a doctor, but it probably did some damage to it. So
we'll see.
Spencer says Yusei was on fire today. I'm gonna run through some of these comments right here too. Baldwin says Todd could not release the same way. He's talking about when I was talking about my arm, how I couldn't.
I heard that.
Yeah. And Mike Trout wants to know about a yummy tasting nut. So let's play a little snippet of the Kitty show that went on for only 20 minutes after a game like this.
Had me fired up. What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut? If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years covering UCLA sports, specifically with the Daily Bruin, writing articles, conducting interviews, all that good stuff. Crack into a good source of protein with how about a yummy tasting nut. I love the nut. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Had me fired up.
He's really fired up, Jackson.
He's really fired up.
Would you have him on your Tennessee Titans football show this year, talking about nuts?
If Cam wore shits to bed this year, he can come on and talk about how nuts. if talk about no, that's another thing I'm excited for. So we'll see about this year. We play you guys this year, week 12 in Nashville.
Yes, and I'm actually flirting the idea of going over there because I do have a couple friends still in the Tennessee area, the Memphis area. I know it's on the other side, but
Right.
I would make the drive east to go see the Titans and Seahawks. So I'm floating that out there too. I may just do that this year. But real quick, dude, where can they find you over there?
Yeah, so if you want to check out the Titans Talk 615 podcast, it is on Instagram. And then you can check out the Spotify and YouTube, Titans Talk 615. And the second episode's out on Sunday. And then, spoiler alert, we have Kevin Dyson coming on in the next couple weeks. So I'm excited to announce that.
Former wide receiver of the Tennessee Titans, Super Bowl guy, right?
Yeah, he's the 1-yard catch guy.
That's
against
right.
The Rams, yeah. And the Music City Miracle guy. So Tennessee Oilers, yep.
There you
Love
go.
those Oilers.
I will say my boy Jackson, who's with us right now, is a real hardcore fan, big time football fan and Angel fan. But Angels fan first. I met him at the game along with his boy Eddie, and Eddie's cool too. We've had him on here a couple times too. But yeah, Jackson, dude, happy to have you on the show, man. Got to get you on for an Angels podcast so I could visually see my man too.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll hopefully we'll schedule that up soon. And when I get back in California, let's definitely say what's up. I'll hopefully be back out there next month, my birthday. Right. So stay tuned.
That sounds good, dude. I got to get your prediction on the Nationals, man. I don't like looking ahead too far, but I'm not going to tell me what they're going to do on the road. But Washington, you got Soriano versus Irvin, Hendricks versus Sorka, and Kwanowitz versus Parker. What do you think? How do you think we fare in that series?
I think Soriano is going to dominate the first game again. I really like what I'm seeing right now from Soriano. I think Saturday, we lose a heartbreaker by 1 run. I think it's being the bottom of the 9th. And I think Sunday, Kolowitz will give up 5 runs. But I think the Angels bullpen will hold on. And then I think we'll get the walk-off win on Sunday.
All right. I like it. 2 out of 3, man. That works for me. All right, Jackson.
Hey, all right, man. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate you. I appreciate all y'all.
And thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. Good to see you.
All right, brother. We'll see you soon.
All right, brother. We'll see you soon, brother.
Later. All right, that's an awesome Jackson Weber right there, checking in from Tennessee. He's a big-time Angels fan. I wanted to get him on here. A couple quick comments, and I'm going to get in and blow through the who am I, freaking Gavin all of a sudden? Justin says Angels to the playoffs. Also, you have Trout and Ward terrible at the 3-4 spot. We've been talking about that. I want Ward to slide down a bit, and I also want Trout to be in that 5, but beggars can't be choosers right now as long as they're winning, I guess, but I would like them to change. Artie says nice win, but Kingery and Wade got to go ASAP. They are dead weights in that lineup. Iron Giant says always cock teased with 500. We finally stick it there. We got to get that 41st win on Friday. I'm hoping so, Iron Giant. You got Soriano. You got your boy up there. Trade Ward for Marcell Osuna. Boy, that would be great. Rally Chris says the Angels are 14-9 in June right now, so that's really good. Rangers throwing a no-no in the 7th. Grillmaster says we won. And let's see, where is it? Oh, and I forgot to play this already because the Red Sox fans, chowderheads, are saying this.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
We won?
Randy says, if you're having Red Sox problems, I feel bad for you. Sonia got 99 problems with the Sox. Ain't one of them. Hit me. Baldwin says Halos took advantage of the Red Sox mistakes. That's what we failed to do in the past. Absolutely. Usually everyone takes advantage of us. Nationals in town Friday. Don't take them for granted like the Pirates. That's for sure. They are a very young team. Take that, Chowderheads, back to Boston. And what about Christian Moore, man? Again, Christian Moore having another good day today. I didn't notice Rally Chris. You're right. Also, Moore inverted my honk. Now I'm fingering my honk. Oh, that's disgusting. But let's give you that honk. There you go. Now, as far as runs scored, we scored 5. That means the Deos 21 gun salute with the 5 Deos. There you go, right there. Your 5 Deos get in right there as the Angels get the 5 runs. Also, Trout's puzzled somehow that Alex Curry's pregnant. Well, most women can get pregnant. Let's see. Hey, Darno is a triple away from the cycle. Hey. Also, Q FanDuel. Hey. And launch angle. No launch angle. How do we score runs? Launch angle. Nah, ban the honk, dude. He doesn't like it. Missy says, fans, we got to start voting for our all-stars. Dude, Neto needs a hell of a lot of freaking votes right now. He's 7th in the voting in shortstops. I know there's good shortstops in the American League, but 7? That's kind of messed up. Albert Pujols says, Todd, I will be the new Angels manager by the end of the year. Isaac Flores says, nah, series most important, cannot have another slap dick type Marlins series. That's for sure, Isaac. We got to play good. Mario, my friend, he's been missing the last couple days. How sweep it is, he says, though. Randy says, sell the whole fucking thing. All in, baby. No, I don't think so, dude. Mario says, I'm back from Texas, and our coach is gone. We got a new right fielder, and we swept the Red Sox. Q Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, was 2002 team exciting or better? Angels need to DH O'Hoppe. Was the 2002 dude? Yes, this Vasquez, the 2002 Angels team. If you're a young kid, look up their stats and how a lot of them were like close to or above 300 hitting. That team was a hitting machine, dude. They were hard to get out. They were down 5 runs at times, and you were like, they're going to come back. You had no doubt. They had a rotation that sucked. You think this one's bad? This one looks like the goddamn White Sox when they won the World Series in 2005. A killer rotation with guys pitching over their heads, or the Yankees rotation. Dude, their rotation was bad. The Angels rotation was bad in 2002. I mean, their ace was Jared Washburn. So, I mean, you had a bunch of funky pitchers that year, and somehow they still made it to the World Series on the strength of their bullpen and their freaking hitting. Dude, their hitting was amazing that year. Never say die, never surrender. Missy says, is Artie ghosting us? No, he's not. Artie will be back on the show soon. Artie and the other callers needed to take a break. Let's just leave it like that right now. Lugo needs his time to shine. He's in the minors right now. He can get it all he wants down there. Also, Randy says we're going to win in spite of the cock. Not a fan of Artie. Also, you got Albert Pujols checking in, loving our boy Jackson. Yusei is his name. It's Yusei, whatever. We all say Kikuchi. Hey, at Randy, I can fly in from Texas from middle school, high school kids, or I could fly in from high school season. That's kind of I can't really read that one. It's coming jumbled up. Some of these comments come jumbled up, and it's not even you. Vasquez says, I'm too excited for the trade deadline. It's coming soon, man. But that draft is going to be really fun, too, I think, because it is real critical that we nail this draft. Alden says, it's so weird talking about having a realistic wild card chance on the post-game show, right? Dude, it hasn't been like this in a long time. It's never been like this. So again, even though it's still early, and by the way, every time we get excited, someone's got to tell us there's a lot of baseball left to be played.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
So I'm hoping that because again, look what they've done the last couple of years and being able to get Shonawell, who blew through the minor leagues to get to the top team. You had Zach Neto blow through the minors to get to the top team. You had freaking, now you have Moore go through, blast through the minors to get to the big club. So if you make the right picks, if these guys are already seasoned because they played college and they're like a men amongst boys coming through rookie balls, A ball, high A ball, double A, you could see a potential first round draft pick already next year. And that's the exciting thing. If you nail a couple of these guys, man. Vote Bond says, I'm honking my halo all over my neighbor's car. Sounds like you got a neighbor problem. Randy Yoss says, I'm about to lose my apartment. So no, he's not going to vote. He's not going to honk everywhere. We got some good coochie today. We sure did. That coochie didn't stink it up today. We buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. Only time will tell. My man, ban that honk dude. He's not liking the honk. Randy Yaz says, I would never travel 4 hours to play a softball game unless I'm there, I guess, or being paid, he says. We're back to 500 baseball. Early birthday present for Rally Chris Q Lombardi. Dude, Rally Chris is counting down the hours to his birthday.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, Jason Hess says, I'm just trying to support since I usually can't because I'm so far away. We better beat the Dodgers. F those. Yeah. Big 20 says, yo. Oh, he's here. Big 20's in the house. It's been a while. You got Mario saying too early to start talking playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, it's way too early to start talking that, but it's also nice to just know that we're in the playoff picture.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Sweep, oh yeah. Boston sucks, oh yeah. Can everybody say we're going streaking? Absolutely. As long as Yummy Tasting Nut is there, which is our boy Gavin, which he's already made one appearance.
What's on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a Yummy Tasting Nut?
Buyers, and we're still above 500. If we are, yes, I think we're buyers, but we got to temper what exactly we're going to buy. We're going to be window shopping a lot, and I think we're going to get the bargain basement guys or the blue light special. So that's where I'm kind of thinking right now. Also, let's see. So no, I had him on as a call, so there wasn't a thing right there. I love good coochie, Kylo says. I think we all do, a straight men. Also, jeez, guys are slamming that dude right there. DeGrom throwing a no-hitter right now for Texas. That's not a good thing for us. Isaac says, longtime Halo fans hate the Red Sox. Yep, I sure do. Also, Mario says Gooby and Rendazzo after Adell hit his 10th home run in June. Q FanDuel. Yeah, dude, they were spritzing all over the place. And speaking of which, we didn't even play spritzing at all.
Hey, did you see that launch angle? The ball was out on an exit velocity of 109.7, and then the launch angle was about like to the moon. It was so great. How about that, man? And how about the song of the day, Gooby Tuesday, even though it's a Wednesday, it ain't no holler back girl. Let's see. Also, you got Rendon comes off the books this year, or no, it's next year. And then also, I definitely think we're buyers. Dana gets dealt. That would suck because I think there's a lot of upside with him, Aiden. Missy says, any update on Neto? Yes, we dodged a bullet. He's perfectly fine. It's just a contusion and some muscle soreness. He'll be good to go. He's day to day. So that's the good news right there. DeGrom of the Rangers just walked his first batter, so there you go. So we're getting all the updates right now. Also, Vote for Bond says, I thought Quijada never got his velocity back. That's what he's working on right now. So also, I'm jinxing DeGrom inside my mind. Baldwin says, Neuro says, go Angels from Chicua. Oh my God, Mexico. So yes, Cachui. I'm terrible at Spanish. We've all established that. We gonna sweep the Nats because the return of Big 20. Oh no. Let's not jinx ourselves. Also, yeah, Paisa Cook says, good shit, my boy Neto. Anaheim Angels all day. Artie Suck says, Rally Chris says, the rumors are Angels are bringing Andrew Heaney back from the Pirates. No, I would not do that. No, he is super average. No. Let's all thank the Red Sox for trading Devers, Rye Guy says. Yes, stop it, Rally.
Big 20 says just one show, buddy. Also, Alcantara from the Marlins. I wouldn't do that either. I don't like that move. Also, yeah, he hasn't pitched good all year this year for the Marlins. He's recouping from that Tommy John. Just really hope we come out and break hitting on or come out of the break hitting the ground running, because that's one thing the Angels don't do good, which is after the All-Star break, get back to things, as usual, because when they used to miss the playoffs because they were good in the first half and suck in the second, for whatever reason, these guys played like they were on a drunk bender, and they would come back in the second half of the season and forget how to play. So yeah, you got to really tighten those screws up in the second half. Todd, you are my favorite Angels podcast. Artie Sucks says, keep up the good work. I appreciate you so much, Artie Sucks. Mario says, it's doing great. Nothing like coming home to a winning streak at Mike Trout. Also, Jason Hess says, at Todd, with the OC vibe being built, the whole Honda Center rebuild thing, you think Artie would resume and want to start adding big pieces now, knowing that the money is going to be there to be made? No, not really, because he's not as rich as we think, and he's trying to nail down with a city. What do you call it? He's trying to get a deal with a city to eventually be able to build sort of a Riverwalk thing. So he has a grand plan, but he's not caring about the team on the field. The team's going to have to win without him really giving a shit. Light that baby up says Dodgers or dodged a bullet with Neto's x-rays being negative. Absolutely. And Artie needs to sell has been something we said for 4 years or longer. Vote for Bond says, if they don't trade these expiring contracts, it's a failed season, playoffs or not. That is a very good point, because again, if you're able to trade these guys, but then get some pieces back that can help the big league club and be on the books for next year, it's a win. But yeah, if you're allowing more guys to walk and get nothing back, absolutely. I 100% agree. Randy says, I just hope that it's not a thing where we go back into breaking hot and then come out colder than Big 20's dick. Oh my God. Also, you got, I was 6 when we made the playoffs in 14. I only remember Trout's homer. I need some playoff baseball. Aiden, maybe not this year, but next year I'm going for that. But hey, who knows? Anything can happen with these extra wild card spots. Artie, more interested in real estate. Angels are a tax write-off at this point. You're right. Oh, and we didn't do the spritz. Yeah, so yes, here's a spritz o'clock, your botanical drink, and around dinner time, I guess. So have a spritz.
Yeah! I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying?
So right now, Light That Baby Up wants to know realistic record for July. I'm going to just put it to you this way, man. I kind of just want to wait. I just want to wait and play one series at a time, try to go 1-0 at a time. I've been hurt too many times as an Angel fan trying to predict months in advance or weeks in advance. No shot at you. It's just for me personally, dude. I freaking got to take it one series at a time. Pisces says, how many total wild card spots are there? I think there's 3 now. So you have a pretty good chance. Victory says, it's been the same thing for the last 10 years. Red hot April, flop the rest of the season. Disney needs to rebuy this team again. I would love that, because I think as fans, including myself, I took them for granted. I thought they weren't doing the right thing, but they had the best run organization inside that you didn't see. They had the best scouts. They had the best player development. They had a lot of good things. I mean, the Angels minor league system, you forget, under Disney was tops in baseball for a couple years. So they did things right. And Artie's done everything on the cheap. So Trout's new approach is praying for a walk every time he comes up to bat. LV says, we're so back. Also says, I'm fired up right now. How do you like more in the number 2 spot? I think it's too early to bring him up, but I think you had to bring him up because of Neto. So he played good today. Good little dry run, but I think still it's going to have to wait a little bit. I think he's got to be down in the order, keep getting his bearings, keep getting hits, and then you bring him up towards the top. LV says, Todd, the sweep check cleared. Man, you are cashing checks left and right, my man. Cam Ward has those tasty nuts. Oh, it's disgusting. Also, Cade Anderson throws like 93. We should draft the third baseman, either Arquette or Holiday. I miss Howie Kendrick, Vlad, Weaver, and Garrett. I do too. They would be great in the organization. Kendrick especially. Weaver has too much of a temper. Vlad is a family man, and Garrett Anderson, I think, is too nice, and I think he would coach a different way than these guys are used to. I love the guy. I just don't think those 4 would fit. Howie out of all of them would fit in the best. Adriana says, update on Neto. We've talked about it already. He's just got soreness. No, the MRI was negative, thank God, so he'll be day to day. You got Archangel saying, I would like to add this sweep to a tasty nut and a baby oil because I'm all fired up. Iron Giant says, UCLA fired up the cap on good old Gavin is hilarious. Yeah. Also, Bryce Young, bust, yes or no? Very much so. LV says, call me a Halo honk all you want. I'm calling it right now. Halos will take the series against the Nationals. You could take that to the bank and deposit it. So we're going to have to check that check as well. No, Jason, no Niners all day. Run me those honks. Let's get them 5 honks, shall we? Because, again, we did the 5 Deos. There you go. 5 Halo honks right there. Let's see. As a Laker fan, Halo fan, fuck Boston. Let's see. Also, you got, I'm going to get to right here. Baldwin says, I think Quiz will do, Quiz will do well against the Nats or Conowitz. I hope so. He's got to get some better pitching in there. Dude, I didn't get the alert when you went live. Fucking hate YouTube. YouTube does that sometimes, man. That's why we have twice as many people on. Sometimes they don't shoot that out. Isaac Flores F, the Lakers Celtics. Tony C checks in. He says, Ray has been Angels playing better. Ray has the Angels playing much better. Sorry for stumbling right there. Bunting and being more patient. Also, Trout and RBI hit to say that it at least is something new. I think the Angels are going to start trading some rental players. Go Halos. That might be the way to go right now. Also, with a Rebel yell, we want more. Absolutely. More was definitely the freaking star of this series. Randy says everyone voting a couple times, 100 times for Neto. Don't be suckers. Absolutely. Also, say in a British accent, may I have more, sir? Please, may I have more? Randy says, you're telling me if you were told if you were sold the farm and you'd compete for a championship guaranteed, you wouldn't do it? If we could rub a magic lamp, and yes, Randy, if we had a legit chance to have a deep, and I mean deep playoff run, absolutely I would, and worry about it later. But if we're building to just sniff the playoffs and be one and done, I'd have to temper it back. But I see where you're coming from because we are a starving freaking fan base. Just type 2002 Angels on YouTube and you'll see a shit ton of highlights. Yes. 14 says, now it's time to build on this. Let's get Bauer. We could use his arm. Dude, I'm telling you, I love Bauer too, but he's a head case and the Major League Baseball doesn't want him. He is the white Kaepernick at this point. Chris says, Kikuchi won. We got a sweep. We won a day game. Lombardi says, what? Lombardi says, it's a good setup. I love when the comments set up the soundbite. That's awesome. I'll send Kana Dana for anyone who can produce. There might be a way. Q, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. We got the sweep. Do I still have that soundbite? Because I kind of like, is it this one?
What?
Nope, it's not that one. Yeah, I think I got rid of that one. So we'll just play this one since you love this one too.
This fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out.
Calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat.
Josh says Dana is like Detmers with all the problems, but none of the stuff. Damn. Josh is coming with it. Would the 2002 team be considered a sabermetrics team by today's standards? Hell no, dude. They were just by the freaking, baseball for dummies, basically. I mean, they freaking just played the game. I mean, there was some strategy, yes, but they just were grinders. They were just so fun to watch, man. And you could tell they had some of the best freaking cohesiveness out there. Angels pitchers got to start protecting these Angels hitters. I agree right there. When you get hit, let's hit them right back. I didn't think we missed the third strike call in the first inning. What Kikuchi would have done to win the game, let alone 7 innings. So yeah, you would think after that error, this team would just roll over and die, but they didn't. They're changing things up, and because of that, we're on a winning streak. We're winning.
Wow, winning.
Absolutely. And Lombardi's like,
What the hell's going on out here?
Lombardi seems to be mad. Also, Michael says, spot on, Todd, about the 2002 Angels, 99 wins in the regular season, World Series winning team. Despite their starting pitching, they kept the line moving and had lights out bullpen. They were fun to watch. One of the best teams you will ever see. Stevenson getting ready to come back soon. Again, it's all mental with him. Once he gets over the mental aspect, he should be fine. Who would you like to see in an Angel uniform as a pitcher, rest of season, rental, or long-term? There's a couple guys I would like to see from your lesser teams. Off the top of my head, shit. All I can say right now, because I'm blanking for whatever reason, I had a couple names in mind, but let's see if I look at the teams, I could probably figure them out right now. I would dip into Atlanta, but you got to see if they're going to be totally in or out. I would, and Cincinnati's got a couple pitchers. Kansas City's really falling apart. I would take a look at them. It's basically what you can get. There's a couple pitchers I would like to get specifically, but I just don't see the Angels having the pieces to get them. So we'd have to look on those teams, but lower tier players. That's the thing. I'll have some players I'll talk about on the upcoming shows to give you an idea of who I'd want to get. Baldwin says, no, we are chasing the A's money ball last year. Also, Tony C says, and I am skipping a couple to catch up right here. Hey, let's give Todd likes and shares for being over, more subscribers over to help Todd. Great job. The podcast is awesome. You keep it real and tell it like it is. I appreciate that, Tony. And if you're not really cool or if you're not really on the page yet as far as a subscriber on YouTube, man, I really echo Tony right there. Please help us out and give us a subscribe over there. It really, really helps us out too with the likes as well. Keeps us in the algorithm big time. We're back to 500. We just need to keep our composure. Yeah, we can't lose our composure.
Come on, all right, everybody. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We've made a great effort so far. Let's just keep it up.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've come too far. There's too much to lose. We've got to just keep our composure.
Yep, Bueller may be a possibility, but I don't think it's a good possibility at this point. He's to me another Alcantara, coming off of Tommy John, not really finding his stuff yet. And unless he breaks out, you may be able to get him at a good price because Boston's trying to shed salary despite them still being in the wild card. They're looking. That's what they did with Devers. I heard that they're going to go all in on free agents next year. Spritz song is in my head all day at work. Randy's work right there. Also, Mario says, Todd, would you rather have Suarez back than Heaney, comeback player of the year, Q Lombardi? No, I think I would love to have Heaney back. Suarez is a death knell to this team.
What the hell's going on out here?
I don't like Heaney either, but God damn it, dude, if I had to pick one of the two. Joshua says, I like Ray Montgomery so far. Also, the Riverbank idea is an idea right now. I wouldn't worry about it. He has a major confidence problem. He does right now. When Montgomery went to talk to Kikuchi on the mound visit, Montgomery said, D's nuts, and then walked away. That would be funny. Just to break the tension. If the game was very, 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 very close, you could just walk up to him and just be like,
these nuts. Got him. Got him.
Also, Riverbank, is he talking about the homeless camp? Yeah, that could be part of it. Jesus is very happy about beating the Cheat Sox. Yes, and that is a new version. Also, undefeated in July. Right your cheeks. No. Also, Baldwin says Fernando Valenzuela was one of our scouts. He was. You had some pretty cool people over there at the time. Mario says Randy hit a home run with that I love winning dubbed over the Spritzer clock. He did. Cisco says, Sup Todd, still out there working. Stay cool, my friend. Jason says when Gene Autry died, so did this organization. Not really, because it was a few months after, or a few years after the Angels won, because he died in 98. And then the Angels Disney assumed all control after that. Also, will you relax, Trout? You're starting to piss me off. Hater Bryce ain't a bust. He's more for the Panthers. Also, Rally Chris says he is a bust right now until he has a full season. He finished good, but can he repeat? And that's a football topic for a football show. Hot take: more will be the reason why the Angels end their long playoff drought this year. Oh boy. Quanowitz like Swiss cheese up there, Cheese Whiz. Don Hammond checking in. My boy says, so glad we got the sweep. Now a much needed day off, and we got to take care of business against the Nationals. Abso-freaking-lutely. Jason says, Cade Anderson, number 2 pick if he doesn't go number 1. If he does go number 1, then Ethan Holiday and put him in there and put him at 3rd. And that would be the way to go. I mean playing in the World Series. Yes. Well, if Randy, again, if you're able to give me 100% that we're going to be in the World Series, you got to make that move. Also, trade Kingery right there. I don't know who would take him. Bryant says Boston fans are so weak now they suck compared to when we played them back in 2009. Yes, dude. I mean, they were so frustrated the other night leaving the stadium. And again, we go to the games, people. At HITI here, we go to the games, enjoy it. It's like we're fans in the stands with you talking baseball, going back and forth. It's not like the other podcast where he's like, I love nuts and Viagra, and I can't make any games. They forwarded me some stuff that I heard from his show because I don't give him any kind of patronage. I think they all suck. But, man, he was whining about not going to games, and then his breakdown. I mean, come on, you have such a great game last night, and you're only on for like 25 minutes. And he's like, I'm sorry it was on so long. Like, that's long? Come on, man. I mean, even Trent Rush goes longer than that. Trent Rush is like, hey, after we play some, we're going to play some audio from the manager, and then we're going to play some commercial, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to take phone calls, which is really 2 phone calls. And if you say anything negative, I'm going to hang up on you. And then we're going to talk about Christmas in June. Calm down for Christmas in June. Oh, my God. Trout says, I think Julio Urias will pitch again. Remember, Marcell Ozuna had the same thing. No, but I don't know, man. I don't think Urias will get back because the way he beat that poor woman, he should be beaten by a hell of a lot of guys. And I wish he was a hitter because anyone with a wife should throw at dude's head and make Cyclops lose his only good eye. And yes, he is Cyclops. And no, I don't give a shit about talking about his deficiency. He laid his hands on a woman and did it in the most cowardly way possible. And just, I don't care if he was drunk. You never hit a woman. And again, the jury was out about, Bauer, but he was found innocent. His mouth has kept him out of the league. There's no reason why Bauer should be back not being back in the league. But I think it's bad. What is it called? Bad PR for baseball to have Bauer back in the league, despite how good he is, because he's going to just every pitch. If you see him, his highlights in Korea and other places, he's cussing out guys as he throws balls. He's like, fuck you. You can't have that on the mound. You just can't. He's a bit of a head case. I know he's good, but he's going to destroy any locker room he goes to. And the Dodger players hated him. And that was before the whole supposedly him hitting a woman. So, I don't like how the NFL lets players in. I don't like how sometimes hockey has done the same thing too. It's a terrible look, dude. And especially when it's on video. Some of these guys have been found guilty, have had second and third chances, but I don't think you can. If you're not going to let Bauer in, you can't let Urias back. You just can't. It's ridiculous. I don't care how good you are, you can't come back after that. Should we use Trout as full-time DH? At this point, you're going to have to, because you don't want to risk that leg any more than it already has. Also, but there's no way you can build a team like 0-2 today and seriously say we're competing this season. We would legit get laughed at if we didn't know who these guys were, and that's true. Because gone are the days where you had the 1-2 guys. I mean, the Angels are trying to emulate that a little bit with Shonawell and Neto, but those aren't the traditional 1 and 2 guys. I mean, Randy's right. You wouldn't have your Ecksteins, and you wouldn't have a Scott Spezio at number 2 or Darren Erstad at number 2 setting up your Glosses, your Salmons, your Andersons, your Fulmers. You wouldn't have that. And again, those teams value just putting the bat on the ball and getting hits, man. You don't have that nowadays. The teams are just swinging for the fences. It's all about analytics. It's all about, I don't care. It's a strike. Home run is, hits and bunts and going first to third is almost overlooked now. And strikeouts is like, well, it's not that bad. Whereas back in the day, players took it to the heart when they struck out a lot. Now it's like, okay, we're good. Jason says, really hope the deadline we can get an ace. In my opinion, we don't have a playoff pitching staff. We don't. I gave the Spritz clock launch angle. You sure did. Also, Renifo and Ward for Pagaz. Do the Dodgers do it now? No, they don't. Pagaz is turning into one hell of a player. And the thing that pisses me off is he would have been an Angel if it wasn't for Artie Moreno. He was going to come over in the Stripland. And who was it was Jock Peterson, Ross Stripling, and the throw-in player that the Blue Jays were going to give us for Renifo and somebody else was Pagaz. And the deal was pretty much done, and Artie's like, I don't like the trade. You can't make the trade. So, yeah, we got screwed over on that one. Jason Hess says, bullpen would be the reason as a mixture of young bats. Randy says, I watched the Sox broadcast the other night, and they were talking about how many fans there were. But then they talked about how quiet they were. I couldn't help but bust out laughing. Yeah, they did need a ton of Deos to get the fans going. Matthew says the amount of bloops I got to see growing up in the early 2000s and late 1990s made baseball fun. Exactly. I was the same way, Muttley. I was trying to chase my baseball dream at the time, and I was very focused in on baseball playing, and then I was focused in on the Angels where I could see them and watch them, and I was just loving even looking in the box scores when I was in the road in Pennsylvania, just watching, and looking and seeing how the Angels were doing. And man, they were a great ass team back then. I mean, they don't make them like that no more for sure. Angels could have went 6-0 against the Red Sox this year. Vote for Bond says, no, not only did he hit his wife, it was in the parking lot of his employment, and dude deserves never to pitch again. Exactly. And I mean, he did it in front of cameras and he didn't care. So if he's able to do it in front of the public, imagine what he does behind closed doors. Angels are not turning into the Kansas City Chiefs. We are not bringing criminals in on our team, no matter how good they are. Also, Mike Trout says Marcel put his hands on his wife as well, and there was video evidence Julio is a coward. Look, I can't speak for the Braves, dude. I can't speak for the Braves. Randy says Artie is a criminal. Good point. Good point. Mario says Ray Rice says Urias should get another opportunity. That's sad. Okay, that. See, Ray's like, listen, after I beat my wife, I took her into the elevator at least to take her back upstairs. That's a bad joke, but yes, that's what he did. He hit his wife or a girlfriend, a significant other. I think it was pulling her out of the elevator or dragging her in, dude. And that guy got a standing ovation by Ravens fans. Shame on you. I mean, Baltimore fans gave a standing ovation to that dude when he came back when he was retired. What the fuck? Bilson says it's a great day to be at 500 baseball team. Yes, it is. And Muttley says if we can pull a starter and set up our closer, we can have a good run. I think we're good on pitching right now as far as the bullpen. And think about it. If Jansen stays with us, we're obviously going to trade him at the deadline, but you could be talking about 2 pitchers and maybe 3 pitchers that could be setting us up to the end of the season, and 2 of which were former first-round picks that we converted into bullpen pieces. You could possibly close either with Detmers or flip-flop it to Bachman. So you could have a 8th, 9th inning of Bachman and or Detmers, or you could have Bachman and or Stevenson setting up Detmers. I mean, so again, you've got some options here. And yes, Ben Joyce will be back next year if we had him, Air Zanzi says. Also, did we ever hear anything on Jensen? Yes, Jose, he's fine. He just had the day off today. He actually pitched yesterday. Let's see. Also, yes, we do need an ace. We do need an owner. Moore had no home. Moore couldn't hit more home runs today. I wish I played good at baseball. I loved it playing regardless, Randy says. Also, I remember as a kid running out of the driveway to get to the OC register and reading how the Angels did the night before the sports section, then looking in the standings. Good times. Absolutely, dude. 100%. I would do the same goddamn thing. Baldwin says Warren Moon wants Urias in the booth. Eric Ward says back to 500. I have to honk, so fuck it, honk, baby. We're so back. My boy is honking, so we got to honor him with a honk right now. Pull out your honks, everybody. Dinner is ready, so I'm going to have to run. Jam says, any update on Neto? Yes, Neto is day-to-day. He will be okay. Don't worry about it, kiddos. He might even be back for that first game against the Nationals. It's just a contusion and an ouchie. He's fine. Muttley says 100% agree with the bullpen is stepping up. Nothing like the problems of old, especially that. Be out of here in a minute. Hold on a second. By the way, Neto's x-ray did come back negative. Yes, we did see about that right there. Paul Glover says favorite Angel of all time. Growing up, I have to say Tim Salmon. But before Tim Salmon, because I got to see his whole career, before Tim Salmon, it was the tail end of Wally Joyner before he got traded. I loved me some Wally Joyner because that was the first games I went to was when they still had Wally's World. So that was my my childhood, watching him a little bit when I was a little kid. And then Tim Salmon, I loved him from the start. When he came onto the squad, I was like, dude, this guy's going to be good. I had his rookie card with me, still got it to this day. Loved him as a player for the Angel. Dinner, I have no idea. Trout. Alfonso's happy about 500. Tony C says we need to look at releasing Burke, Lamont Wade Jr. Why the hell Sean Anderson is still with the Angels? I don't know, but yes, I would have to agree. They have to make some cuts here soon. Making myself look old. Sean Connery said sometimes women need a little smack. No, yeah, that's in the bedroom, but not in front of people in the public. Yes, we know dinner is ready. Carson Fulmer, Saucy says, is looking pretty damn good. Wally definitely was 86, was a magical year. And my dad still says, if he didn't get that staph infection, we would have beaten Boston straight up. Donnie Moore would have never blown the game, and we would have won the game and won the whole thing. I agree. Yeah. And favorite pitcher of all time, Chuck Finley, a second favorite for me. And a lot of people don't put him up there, but I just do because I liked how he pitched for the Angels in his brief time with the Angels. I really liked me some Kelvin Escobar. I say Chuck Finley number one because that fork ball, 4 strikeouts in an inning several times. Amazing guy, fun guy, cool guy. But I would have to say Kelvin Escobar was hella fun to watch. Steve Lee says Weaver. She loved her some Weaver. Lemonade in the second inning of coming of Squid. Also, my honk is beginning to tingle. Uh-oh. Yeah, I got to get in there. Dinner's ready. Yes, he was the man right there. Favorite pitcher, Nolan Ryan, Missy. That's an honorable mention right there for sure. Love that guy. Wish he remained an Angel, never left. Kelvin never got run support. Reminds me of some pitchers of today. So with that being said, I'm going to play everybody out with some Stukas, baby. We won the series. We got the fucking sweep. Let's take it one game at a time against Washington. Let's start with Soriano on the bump on Friday. I hope to see you there on Christmas in June, everybody. Jingle your balls. Pull out your honk. The Reefs are already up. We got to go down there and have some fun. And check me out on Saturday. Saturday, I will be there as a Halo honk in full support, doing my thing as I normally do. Just goofing around the stadium. But Stukas, everybody, how sweep it is. We have a day off. Enjoy your family. Enjoy dinner because I'm about to go Angels.